You're listening to the Jay Bird Watching Podcast, the official podcast of jaysjournal.com and fansided.com, where we discuss all things Toronto Blue Jays baseball. We'll talk about news, rumors, and game recaps. So whether you're a diehard fan or just getting started with the team, this is the podcast for you. Here's your host, Craig Borden, with co-hosts Jason Lyons and me, Ken Alfred. You're listening to the Jay Bird Watching Podcast.
Good evening, Blue Jays fans, and welcome to a lovely evening of Jay Bird Watching. We got a hell of a night actually here because we're the one podcast that's normally scheduled to be on a Thursday night live, and tonight is City Connect Toronto Blue Jays jersey unveiling. So during the midst of this show, we are going to have a fun time, hopefully unveiling that idea with everybody else here, and we're going to have some fun. As with me, as always, Jason. How we doing, my friends? Welcome.
Super duper. A little bit trafficy on my way home today, but other than that, it's a beautiful sunshiny day in Vancouver today, and I'm excited about the City Connect jerseys. I'm excited about a sweep, and I'm excited about our guest big time.
Awesome. So on that note, Liz McGuire is here, recent Topps baseball card fame that we're going to get a story out of. But Liz, how are you doing this evening?
What is up, guys? I'm brain injured. So like straight up, I am brain injured, but I'm stoked.
That makes three of us.
Word. So us, the brain injured crew, I'm stoked to be here. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm pumped.
Well, as we were talking about before the show, we always love having people on with any fun things that can go on in Blue Jays baseball, and you have a hell of a story to tell that I want to make sure that everybody had a chance to hear in Blue Jays Nation. And I couldn't believe how, first off, your baseball cards look like they're about to sell for a pretty damn good premium on eBay from what I saw.
Yeah, one just sold for almost 3,000 Canadian. And like
that's so awesome.
When I get paid though, I'm like, they're not gonna pay me. Like this can't be real. So and I'm like, anyway, I'll tell you, I am donating portion of the proceeds, like couples of thousands, to the Holland Bloorview Kids Rehab Hospital Concussion Center. So I hope that people actually pay me.
That's awesome. Yep. Perfect.
Pay the lady.
So those last two cards to hopefully get you some extra, and hopefully Topps will send you a few more so you can continue helping out with that effort. So
hey, Liz, I gotta tell you,
good.
I got to tell you, Liz, so we've had a few guests on the show, and I've got 13-year-old twin boys that play a lot of baseball, and I coach a U13 AAA team. I don't know if there's been any more anticipation for a guest to be on our show when I told them the person that took a line drive.
This is why it's okay. So I'm going to go rogue for a second. So I was at Crystal Pits. I like the Toronto, where we are, there's a baseball team called the Toronto Maple Leafs baseball team. They are older than the hockey team. I like to see them every Sunday and get drunk on the hill. And so a kid comes up to me and he's like, hey, Liz, because like my face is all bashed and people see me. And he's like, can I have a baseball card? And I was like, my guy, like, I'm sorry. I don't have them yet. And I don't know about baseball cards. So I ordered a bunch of the fake ones off the internet to give out to people. Right. Because like Topps cards, right. And the back, guys, it kicks ass. It says like total badass.
Yeah.
Don't
that's right.
I didn't want to be a jerk and just be like, sorry, my top cards are worth a whole bunch of money and I'm not sure what to do with them. So get the novelty cards, sign them, hand them out to your buds, put them on the fridge. If your kids want some baseball cards, I'll mail them over, man.
That's awesome. That'd be awesome.
That is awesome, Liz. So to the people that haven't been paying attention to the Twitter feeds and whatnot, give us the story because, like I said, it was 114 miles an hour is what I think it says on the card.
110. It was 110 miles an hour. So what happened is this, all right? I'm like, okay. Let's be honest here. We all know the risks of sitting on the foul line. I go to I don't know, man. I go to 40-plus games a year. I know what's up. And so I'm like, it's Friday night. Usually we sit in the 500s, right? Because we are cheap. And so this night we're in the 100s, which is special, right? It's special times. And I'm
this night out.
Yeah, man, it's what's up. So I'm sitting between the third base and the outfield, and I'm high. I'm high up. I'm on maybe row 20 or 28 or 30, right? And so I just turned one of my buddies was pro human ump, and I was like, no, it's robot umps all the way. So I turned to my left and I'm like, robot umps are the future. I look back and I get smashed in the face. Like, and I saw the liner. It's on Twitter. The liner off the bat. It goes off Bo Bichette. He fouls it off, and it curves just like a hockey stick to the left, and just falls right at my face. So to all those who were like, you weren't paying attention, you could have caught it. Somebody did the math. It was 2 seconds from bat to face.
Yeah. I was telling Liz, I was telling Craig last week when I was a kid, when I was maybe 10, 11 years old, I was at the old Tacoma Dome down in Seattle, and I was sitting about where you were talking about, and one of the Mariners ripped a foul ball, and it hit me in the knee and then hit me in the shoulder and ejected out into the crowd. And it's funny because somebody said the same thing to me. Couldn't you have reacted? And I had a glove and you know, but there's no way. I mean, it's coming so fast. And, you know, if you've played the game, you realize that when somebody takes one to that, you know, to that level and hits it that hard and it has that much turn on it. I mean, not only can you not really read it all that well, but you're best to just get out of the way before it leaves a 2-foot hole going out the other side. But, you know, kudos to you for, I mean, you really, you know, I've seen people get hit with pucks at hockey games, and I've seen other stuff like that. And I don't know if any of them have nutted up like you just wore it and you were out there and you were like, yeah, that's me. I think
that's the thing. So like, I was like, and like, they just disappeared. So I still have a kind of a bump there, but the laces were in my head. I went to a wedding a couple of days ago with the lace marks in my head.
Laces out.
I still look like a babe though. Like I did look hot.
Crushed it.
Yeah.
Crushed
so this is where it gets weird though. So, right. If that were the end of my story, I got rocked with a foul ball. Okay. So here's what happened. The ball, like my hat, I don't know if you can see it, but my hat got smashed. There it is right there.
It's the hat.
That's the hat right there.
Perfect.
So it got smashed. And so it happens. And the first thing I do, guys, is I just stand up. I just stand up. And I'm like, whoa. And I turn to my buds and I'm like, am I okay? Is this cool? And they're like, no, guys, no. Or like, no. So, and like I can see the faces around me. Everyone's like spooked. And I'm like, okay, so the Jays medics come, they get me, they bring me up, they give me ice for my head, and my buddies roll down to get me the ball. And they're like, this woman has the ball. It apparently bounced off her neck. Yeah, right, whatever. So they get the ball, and she's like, I'm not giving you the ball. And they're like, we're going to give you any amount of money you want for this ball. Okay? And like, I'm up there icing my head on the concourse thinking, if I have this ball, which was a cursed ball to my face, I'm going to take it and I'm going to moonshot it into the river. That is what I want to do with this ball at this point. Because so then she leaves the game. The crowd start chanting, give her the ball, give me the ball. She leaves halfway through. My face is jacked at this point. So I go and I see her in the concourse and I say, I got really hurt. Can I please have the ball? And her husband laughed at me and she said, I'm not doing that for you, and walked away. And I was like, that was messed up. Like, that was messed up. Like, in baseball, there's codes, and there's codes of equity and conduct. Number one, we all know we can get hit with a foul ball. We know that. Number two, you give whoever got rocked that stupid ball, because at the end of the day, it's just a ball, right? That's what's up. So that's
literally carrying your DNA basically at this point. So you would think that there'd be a level of
right. I mean, I look and like, so I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, with the Jays start a rally. So I'm like, okay, let's just see where this goes. There's like 3 pitches left in the game. We're gonna see where the rally goes, and then I'm probably I have to go to the hospital. Although I'm trying to talk my friends out of it. I'm like, I don't want to go. They're like, you have to go. So that's what happened. That was that Blue Jays game. Then I go home for a couple days. I actually leave town. I don't feel well. My head is messed up. I passed face fractures. I didn't have any brain bleeds, but I felt like trash. Half my face is swollen, and I'm like, that felt weird. So I try to contact the Jays through all their social media. Nobody gets back to me. I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to just tweet it. What's up? Because me and my nephew, I just actually gone to play catch with my nephew outside, and I was all spooked with the ball, but I was like, he's 7, it's a softer ball.
PTSD.
He's asked me to play. I'm gonna go play with the boy, right? So we're watching the game together, and I see Bo, and I just shoot the selfie, and I tweet out to the Jays, and I look at my phone. I don't know, man. 2 hours later, I have 4 million views, and I'm terrified. I'm like, oh man, this ain't good. I'm sure everyone's being super mean to me. Number one, like, because I straight up said, I admitted to the whole thing where I looked, I turned anyway. And then I was also like, I'm a girl, and sometimes boys can be mean to girls when they like sports, like straight up. And that's not what it was. It was everybody being super
It was the
nice
complete
to me.
opposite.
Super nice to me, supporting me. People were just like asking if I was okay. It was slayed. And then like in the days that and then I leave town, so I get back into town, and I have to go through where the Jays game was to go through Union Station. And I'm getting there, and somebody looks at me and says, "We've been so worried about you. Are you okay?" And I like straight up cried because like my face is jacked. Somebody stole my ball. Everyone's talking about me on the internet, and I'm on Fox News. I'm on all of these news sources, but nobody's talked to me. Okay, so no one's talked to me. They're just writing about what's on my Twitter, and I was like, "State of journalism is trash." So I got a tweet. Tops is looking for me, and I was like, "Tops, who did the bees card that I so adored?" They were looking for me, and I thought they were joking. I was like, they're just messing with me. And then I DM'd them, and within 15 minutes, we had a plan. We'd like collaborated on a plan. They're like, how do you feel about this, and this is our rollout. And at this point, nobody's asking me anything, right? People are just saying shit about me. And I was like, this is the best. Let's go. And then they had the card out 3 hours later.
It's amazing.
Oh my God, that's the beautiful thing about what Topps does. But period, is I haven't seen them do anything like this. What they did for you, but those Topps Now cards are a really fun thing that they've really brought somebody like even me that was a big hobby fan. Back when there's a reason we started doing baseball cards on the show on Friday evenings, and it's those kind of things but that is so cool that they reached out to you to do that.
Yeah.
And by the way, that selfie that you picked.
Yeah, I know. And so that's like telling you how I was like adrenaline was pumping. Like I was feeling like I'm gonna take a sassy selfie.
That's right.
Did anybody on Twitter give you the Tommy Boy where it's not so much here or here, it's right here?
No.
Oh well, there I just did it.
Thank you so much.
There you go.
Thank you for that.
And then somebody walks up and goes, "Oh my God, what happened to your face?"
Yeah. Oh my God.
Boba Fett did it. It was right there.
It's been happening to me all week. Yeah. So then Topps gave me 110 cards. I have 110 cards, one for every mile off the bat that had hit my face.
It's so
right?
good.
It's so good. And so,
this.
like straight up, I don't like I like baseball. I like going to games, but like I'm not in the collector's market. Except I got people giving me their numbers on the street. I have hundreds of requests for cards. I just had some guy say to me on Instagram, "Man, you selling those cards? I'll give you a decent price." And I was like, "Check out my auction. I'm auctioning off 4." And he was like, "Oh, I can't afford that." It's like I started the bidding at $1.10, and now it's up in the thousands. So
it's amazing. Incredible.
That's the one, like the collector community on that kind of stuff with baseball cards. It blows me away what that community can do and what everybody is interested, because it is one of those communities where everybody gets supported. And I don't ever feel like when I go to baseball card shows and stuff like that, like people are out purposely trying to be predatory and steal like $1,000 cards from people or anything like that. It's always very, what can I do to help you out? How can I help you find your cards? Those kind of things. And in case anybody has not seen the card, I have to share it because this is official right from your Twitter feed, Liz.
It's literally the best.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen the back yet, but I told him, I was like, just take the piss out of me in the back. I don't care, man. Be like, ice packs used. We at war, -7. Like, let's go.
I think the best part is that the title on the bottom there, and I didn't realize it was cut off by the banner there, but the fact that it says "Fan wears 110 mile per hour, foul ball like a champ." Went out of their way to make sure that they put like a champ on it. So
this is the thing. I will again talk, Craig, about the collector community. So everybody's been really nice and giving me advice. Like, it's been like super nice. They've referred me to people. They've referred me to shops in Toronto because I was like, I don't know what anything means. Which has been nice. Also, like, let's talk about the narrative that I'm a champ. I like that. I like that very much. I'm very looking forward to being a regular faced baseball fan. But I go to the Dome and people just yell legend at me, and somebody fed me popcorn out of their hand. People keep handing me beers, and like I'm not supposed to, but I've been chugging those beers, guys. That's just what we do. Yeah. So like I don't hate it. It's been a good ride. I feel like this season's been trying for Jays fans like myself. So if I can give some like if I can be the next Toronto sports meme with like the IKEA monkey or the Toronto Maple Leafs darts guy, and we got to do Hollywood Squares or whatever, I'm game. Like,
really go old school and get Domer back involved, or
get Domer back involved, get BJ Birdie. We're doing it. But yeah, I feel like if this is the story that makes people feel good, that's what's up. We're gonna do it all the way.
Yeah. And to that point, good on you for doing what you're doing with the baseball cards. But I keep doing what you're doing is slow roll them out a little bit.
That's my plan, is to slow. Like, well, here's the joke, guys. I don't know how many I'm gonna put out. Like, I have no idea. I'm gonna put them. I'm gonna hold on to them. I'm gonna set a few aside for my nieces and nephews when they turn like 16 or something. But like, yeah, I have 110, but I don't know how many I'm gonna roll out. I don't know what I'm kind of. Everybody seems hot on me autographing them, and I was like, yeah, I can't even catch a baseball. So sure, guys, like I will autograph your cards, and I'm excited. Like they are cool. It is really neat. There is like I'm so stoked that Topps gave me the entire collection. I don't think they've done that before. And that's been sick.
That would be a first I'm hearing on that. And usually when they do those limited run ones, they're available. You buy them online. You can only get them from Topps unless somebody does what you're doing after they bought so many of them. They put them back on eBay or
I've even seen
weird things.
I've even seen some lately where the player or players were given a very limited amount, so limited that they actually go forth and buy some of them just because they don't have enough for their kids or for whoever they wanted to keep them for. I've had some close family that have played professional hockey and other professional sports, and I do find it interesting the stuff that they do collect, and then some of the weird stuff like like a bobblehead that doesn't look anything like you. They love it. That's the best.
You mean like a weird Funko Pop that doesn't look like you?
Yeah. Or really does look like you.
Do you remember the Randolph Richard giveaway they had years ago? Like when
the bobblehead.
It wasn't a bobblehead. It was a doll. They turned Randolph Richard into a doll. It was awful. And I'm like, dude, at that point, I think he was not. We signed him for a bunch, but he was not like a star player. But like, what an honor that would be, right? Like, yes.
Yeah, I remember. I have a Kevin.
The creepier part of that.
Bad.
Yeah.
The creepier part of the Randall was the fact that everybody was like pulling their heads off in the ballpark and posting the pictures on Twitter.
He was a nice looking man, though. Come on. Anyway.
Yeah, he could have been in the Barbie movie. We were premature on that one.
That's true. That is true. But yeah, so Topps have been so nice to me, and like I called them the other day just randomly, and I was like, "Hey, Topps, baseball cards. What's up with that?" And they like helped me out. They're like, "Here's the deal. And I was like, what's on the back?" And they're like, "We don't know yet." And I was like, cool. Like, that's great.
So amazing.
Yeah.
So if you obviously
you have going on and the charity thing that you got going on, you need to call them out and see if they'll do like a limited run refractor or something like that. You
honestly, man, like we're good. Like
you can do like half a Terminator face or something, and then half a swollen one.
I'm trying to get Bo Bichette's attention. He's not on any social media. So
no, he isn't. You know what though?
Cards.
If you want Bo Bichette bait, and this has worked for me already. I have twin 13-year-old boys, and one of them could not look more like Bo Bichette in every way. He wears number 11. He wears high socks. He has long hair.
He's a cutie.
Yeah, he's gonna crush it. He is gonna crush. Anyways, I put a picture of him up on Instagram one time, and a person liked it, and I looked into the account, and I'm like, I think that's Bo Bichette. Like, I think that's actually him. But I think he does it through. He does it through like his sister or his somebody. It's someone who's related to him in some way, shape, or form.
He's got a Finsta,
So he is out there. He is
Bo Bichette.
Bo Bichette's heard of me. Like I believe that at this time. I have not heard back from Bo Bichette at this point, but I had batting practice passes in for the Yankees game coming up.
That's awesome.
I know, I'm pumped. So part of the Jays have been not the warmest. I'm just straight up. They haven't been the warmest. And I think they're afraid. I think they're a little bit spooked about me. But they have also been super, they gave me my Bo Bichette signed ball, which is all I wanted. So they did do that, which slayed. They've invited me and 4 of my buds, or I guess me and 3 of my buds, to batting practice and like the game. I asked for Yankees or Dodgers because I'm smart. And so I'm pumped for that. I'm bringing my 14-year-old nephew who's like all baseball all the time.
So good.
Like, so he can be a cute dummy and yell at players and try and get autographs.
And
like,
make sure you take advantage of it. I've been to BP before in a lot of different stadiums and at spring training and stuff. They are more than willing to talk. They want to. This is their good time to interact. So, make sure that you ham it up because you're going to get tons of good opportunity. I know Bo isn't the most personable, but if you get Springer or Kevin Kiermaier to get them poking at him, I mean, you've just got comedy gold written all over it.
Like,
I was going to ask Liz. So you've done just an absolute crap ton of media from this, yeah? What was the most sort of, when you got the call? What was the, like you said, Fox News? That was one.
Well, I didn't do that one. That's the thing, is like I didn't do any of those. They just
rolled it.
That was why I was bummed. This is before the trading card thing came out. So I was just, girl gets smashed in face, and I was like sad about it because I was like, somebody stole my ball. Media's talking about me.
Yeah.
But like so I just felt like there was a narrative that I didn't like. Also, just bad journalism. It just saddened me. So it was when, what's up, guys? It was when the media found me. I got back to Toronto. It's when the Tops thing came out. New York Times. It was New York Times and Washington Post. Those two. That's awesome. For me. I was like, what? I was like, you guys want to talk to me? Like, actually, I was like, let's go.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then I thought, I've been wondering, like, why me? Somebody, because like my story's been everywhere. Somebody literally said, I don't understand. People get hit in the face with a foul ball. Why does this girl get so much attention? And I said, same, bud. And then he's like, I don't know. He's like, yeah. And then I was like, but it's me though. And he's like, I stand by my comment. And I was like, I support your comment. Like, I don't know. Part of it, what I think makes the narrative so good is that I am a real fan. Like, I am not saying Jays are at fault. I got hit in the face with the foul ball. I'm saying, yeah, I got hit in the face with the foul ball. That's what happens at baseball games. This is the truth. Like, and like, I was sitting in the turn seats, the new turn seats. Guys, no one has been more excited for those turn seats than me. Now it's like a real ballpark, And so, and like
100% looks like it.
People have been trying to get me into their narratives about, what is it? The mesh. And I mean, I'm not doing that. Like, I mean, that's for policymakers to decide. There is a risk when you sit in the foul lines, and that's what happens, guys.
Yep.
Like, that's what they tell you at the start of every game. So I think it's part of that is why, and like, I really just wanted my ball. Like, finally, the Jays hooked me up with I don't know which way it goes, guys, but it's a Boba Fett signed ball. And that's all I wanted. Somebody was like, the Jays don't, like, or baseball doesn't owe her any money. And then somebody was like, but there's no clause saying they can't hook her up.
Yeah, like, exactly. I'm actually,
there's a whole level of like human decency. Like, okay, you wore it like a champ, but hey, you know what? Here's a reward. You got your actual trophy out of the situation.
I think you need to put this. I think you need to put this on blast when you are ready to go for that that BP day. I mean, this is an opportunity for you to get batter's gloves and a bat, and I mean
that's going hard.
That's the kind of stuff that they. Yeah, so let us know when you're going to go, and we'll blow this thing all over the place.
Yeah, I literally will, and I'm so pumped because the thing is, like, they're like, oh, we can't guarantee BP will happen that day, and I was like, doesn't matter. Like, they don't do BP, but it's a Friday night game. Friday night game with the Yankees, they're doing BP.
Yeah,
Come
they're
on.
doing BP.
So like, and the thing is, I tried to explain. So they offered me BP, and I was like, yeah, that's what's up. Like, for me, that's what's up. It's not like, here's like money or whatever. I want the behind the scenes fan stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I want baseball. Like, I want to see the stuff. And so I was like super stoked because like that for me is I said, like, it's like Disneyland.
That is the mecca for everybody in this group and all the Blue Jays fans that do tune into the show and everything like that. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. If I ever had a chance to do that, I'd maybe take the ball to the forehead too. And I wouldn't.
No, I would advise you. I did like Access Hollywood or Inside Edition LA, and they were like, was it worth it? And I was like, no, man. I'm going to spend all summer recovering from my brain injury. That's my plan, guys. I'm like a terrible athlete. I'm like, taking protein. I'm on like exercise bike, recovering. I've got like a team of doctors. Like, nah.
Gonna start montage.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've been rubbing mildly cold beer against it for a month already.
I have been, man.
I feel like that's all I can do is hold the can.
You know what they do say though? If you drink enough beer and it's cold enough, it'll fix anything. It'll take down swelling.
I'm going to the game. I'm going to the game tomorrow night, and we're going to try that theory out again.
We should hook you up with the hot dog guys. Are they going to be there?
Oh, it's not
Looney Dog
No,
night.
it's Tuesdays, man. One time we had so many hot dogs, our feet swelled and our shoes didn't fit anymore.
Oh, Lord.
Stay safe at Looney Dogs.
You're the best. You're the best.
Oh, God. One of our other frequent guests, the Looney Dog Kings. Shout out. We'll have to get
shout out Looney Dog Kings.
You're there for Looney Dog night.
In the 2016 or 2017 season, it was whenever we had like it was the start of rebuild. So that would be maybe, I don't know, we had like Young Harvest Solarte was on our team. It was like a weird.
In 2017.
My favorite
2018, because it's before COVID.
Yeah, my favorite player was the Looney Dog mascot on the Jays. Like the cheesy like Looney that looks like it's from a bank. I was like, I have you. Everyone else is letting me down. Let's go.
That's good stuff. Because there was only so much you could get excited when we had a starting lineup that year with Young Solarte and any other insert free agent here.
Well, like Pilar, I was telling my brother. I remember telling my brother the state of Toronto baseball. I'm like, Kevin Pilar is on the subway posters. Like, that's our guy. And
by the way, he's having a better season than most Blue Jays right now.
I know he is. Yeah.
Yeah. Kevin has a real special place in my heart because he was here in Vancouver and he was so good when he was here. And it was clearly like watching a guy who was already in the majors play. And I've only seen a handful of guys come through Vancouver that were that far ahead of the game, like where it was they were already should have been. Yeah. Stroman actually was very young when he came through Vancouver. I actually know the family that he stayed at their house while he was here, and he was. I think he was only maybe 18 or maybe 19.
Yeah, he was. That's right.
He was super young, and they said. I mean, obviously, we went and saw him a few times, and I mean, he was throwing so much faster than those poor guys could handle. But it's interesting now with the Canadians' ball coming up to the level that it's at now. We're seeing way better baseball. Like, I mean, the guys that we watched a guy the last time I went who cracked 100 like 6 times, and you don't see that. I mean. Dude, 2 years ago.
That's the whole thing. You would never see that. Like
never. And I love Nat Bailey. I love going to games at the Nat. I'm going again. I'm supposed to go tomorrow, but I can't. But I'm going in a couple of weeks and on the weekend. And it's a great ballpark. And like you were saying, Liz, like any opportunity you can get to be a part of. We've done stadium tours at Giant Stadium, and I've done the one at Fenway. And I mean, it's stuff you can't ever like to walk out onto the field, at Giant Stadium and touch the grass and just stand. And I said to her, how far can I go? And she's like, you just keep walking until someone yells something.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
done.
The Jays have a, like the kids can run the bases.
Yeah, run the bases.
Except you realize the warning track is just carpet. And you're like,
Yeah.
The only time I've been on that field, and this is going to date how long ago this was. This was the year that they handed out a cologne for a certain pitcher that most people can't remember his name for. Gustavo Jacin.
Oh,
nice.
They had like I'd say the guys that were barely on the roster, like autograph day, that they invited the fans down onto the field. I had just gotten over mono.
Bud.
So it's like,
you know what?
I got to meet.
You've made me think of great. An old Simpsons adage. When we had Troy Tulowitzki, they really missed the boat on having Smellin' a Troy and, and having the Troy Tulowitzki scent. It could have been the scent of overspent money and a bad glove.
As a
Smellin' a Troy.
And it was floppy glove.
Floppy ass glove.
Now we're gonna go with a full Spinal Tap moment.
Yeah.
So.
Should we talk about Should we talk about the Blue Jays?
Maybe? Yeah, I was just thinking, is there anything you would like to talk on that note other than that, or should we dive into the biggest news that is literally hot?
I'm going to plug my charity auction first. So I've got the remainder of the cards are up. It's ebay.ca, or.com. It's Liz McGuire, Go Jays. Check it out. We're going to do a portion of the proceeds, a couple grand, to Holland Blue Review Kids Rehab Hospital Concussion Center. That's me.
There you go. I'll make sure we retweet that link out too, so that you'll get it to the rest of the Jaybird watching fans. So the rumors are true. The wonderful sneak peek we all saw a few days ago is the actual Toronto Blue Jays City Connect jersey. So seeing this went live while we were on the show. It looks like what I saw the other day from our every other Twitter account. Because I was afraid to retweet it with the Jays Journal affiliation and everything the other day. It is official, but I know the audio is not going to come through because of our wonderful thing here, but I'm just going to let the video play because we got the what the hell's the Marvel movie this gentleman's in?
Which guy is it?
I'm forgetting, but anyway, he's a great actor. I actually really do like him.
Is it Iron Man?
It's Shang-Chi, right? The 10 Rings movie.
Oh,
it's one of the new Marvel movies. That's right. So they finally unveil it like a quarter of the way into this video, but they did I thought it was really cool. And I listened to it a little bit in the background because it was playing and it wouldn't stop. But it did end up being those jerseys that we were seeing. And I'm actually surprised that from some of the stuff that we were seeing before that it wasn't more purple and some of these things that I was seeing that the players are already wearing batting gloves and hats and some of those things around. Like I said, I'll let you digest this a little bit here and then we'll obviously dive into it and talk about it.
I mean, I knew, you had to know that there was going to be a bunch of red on it. Like, I mean, I knew they weren't going to go full red, but the guys seem to like wearing the red undershirts, and a lot of the guys have red batter's gloves already. So that kind of tips your cap on that way. The one thing where there was people talking about the purple, I mean, Springer's been wearing those purple cleats.
And he's got gloves too.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just something he likes. And I noticed a couple of guys came out with purple. Now that could be anything, right? That could be breast cancer. That could be any of the many wonderful that they decide, that they put stuff behind. Here's my take. Hat is great. Hat is unbelievable.
Could be
hat. I mean, all of the hats that are out there, I think the City Connect ones unfortunately got the least amount of work done on them. Most of them are just crap, for lack of a better term. And I mean, if you're going to be spending $60 or $70 on a hat, it better be a good one now at this point. I like them. I mean, I think it's a good jersey. I think it's a solid look. I mean, I think that what color pants? Same, right? All one.
Yeah, they're kind of that same. I can't say it's black. No? It's like got a little bit of a hue to it. Like there's almost like an underlay color underneath it or something like that. But either way, I'll just say one thing that I saw in that video. At least I didn't see it a little too much of some of the players like we did out of spring training. So maybe Nike's finally fixing some of these uniforms.
Yeah, they look better.
Good call. Yeah, they like when there was the leak that dropped, it had like a yellow check mark and like it looked flimsy. And the color was less vibrant. And this is a weird observation. The CN Tower was wrong. And there was rumors that they didn't get the licensing to the tower. But in these jerseys, they look good. These things look really good on. On the hanger, I wasn't hot on them. And like maybe it is my brain injury, but is that logo or like the skyline not purple?
It is a little bit.
It is.
They could have been more purple.
Like kind of like neon colors all over the place a little bit. It's not.
You've got.
I'd say it's like a weird gradient.
You got a hard road to hoe though. Yeah, you got a hard road to hoe here because if you're going to try and involve, and this is what I assume they tried to do. They tried to take colors from the Jays. They tried to take colors from Canada, and they tried to take colors from the Raptors. That would be my guess, was to try and involve all three of those things. And the Raptors
typical
purple,
Twitter fun.
Yeah, the Raptors purple, I think is too purple, unless you go full both feet into it. So I think they're kind of playing with that sort of Raptor maroonish, but my vote is I like it.
There you go.
Would your kids buy this jersey?
Yes, they would.
And that's a win. Like for me, if the young males of like the young boys want to wear it, then that's sick. See, I have an opposite view. The hat isn't like, I'm annoyed about the maple leaf. Maybe that's me. And like being in Toronto, I wanted a city connect. But it's fine. The thing is, like, it's from the Toronto flag. It's got the maple leaf on it. It's clean. It looks good. I guess that like I kind of like the goofy '90s-esque designs that like we see in Tampa. Like there's Slade. Like that one,
good.
So good.
Those might be my favorite ones because they kind of got almost. I was waiting for like Tony Hawk to come out and endorse it because it has that like street like '90s vibe for like Tony Hawk Pro Skater like video game like level.
Yeah, I was playing that the other day on my N64. But
very gleaming the cube.
Very gleaming the cube.
Yeah.
Very. But here's the thing with these jerseys that I want to kind of highlight is how cohesive they are. When you see them wear them, they look really good on. You know, I was saying on Twitter that when you look at like what is it, like the Mariners jersey, where you have the pants that don't go,
it's garbage,
things that don't go, and you're like that is trash. And so
garbage.
I like that like these are non-offensive, stylish jerseys. Like,
okay, do you want my hot take?
Cool.
Do you want my hot take?
Oh, here it comes.
Top 3 city connects.
Okay.
So I'm going obviously with San Diego. It's the best.
Number one.
Unbelievable.
Okay. It's so good.
That's hard to
Number two, Milwaukee Brewers. Love it.
Oh, Brew Crew.
Absolutely love it. With a barbecue on the shoulder.
That's my favorite part. The tailgating culture is right there. It's just the Buffalo Bills tables fan in me.
Yeah. I'm going tie between this one and the Chicago Southsiders one. Those are my top 3.
That's sick. I'm going to do my own ranking here.
Go.
Well, like, here's the thing. That's a solid ranking. Respect. Padres, number 1. So fashion. Nationals, number 2. I like it.
With the roses.
It's beautiful.
Or the
and then number 3, it's Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa's good too.
But all those the Chicago ones are sick on. They're like they look just badass.
They look
perfect. Like you were going to talk something fun,
They look like the most ominous softball team
that's
ever played softball.
Like they have like nails in their bats.
You're at home. It's like 5:00 on a Thursday, and you're like, "Who are we playing tonight?" You're talking to another guy in your softball team, and you're like playing the Southsiders, and you're like, "Damn it!"
Yeah.
Hold my groin.
I'll make the joke about what my friend always described hockey refs from because hockey refs are always tough. And so it looks like those guys woke up chewing rusty nails and ready to get in a fight.
Yeah.
With those jerseys on. So, I think these are rather classy. I really do. And honestly, the one thing I do really like is I was worried they're going to end up looking too much like their Canada Day uniforms.
Yeah.
There's just enough red in there to be an accent, not to completely overpower everything. 100%. I like that the lettering and whatnot is. I actually really like the numbers being actually highlighted by the red. It makes it pop amongst the black a little bit. So no, I'm like I said, I'm curious, and I'm not a big fan of buying jerseys, especially when there's possible trades and all these kind of things done. And it's mostly because I'll say Brett Laurie unfortunately ruined my jersey buying experience for the rest of my life.
Osuna jerseys. They bought Osuna jerseys, and then they could not wear the Osuna jerseys. So I only buy non-player jerseys, except for my Joe Carter batting practice jersey.
I buy legends. Except I can't wear any of my Robbie Alomar stuff anymore either.
Yeah, that is complicated. Yeah.
My childhood is ruining. So, but no, I think they did a good job with these. I really do. So, Blue Jays Nation, we know you're listening. We see plenty of people in this chat. Come on. Even Jason's the only one that's topping in the chat. Come on, Jason. Get these people to get talking a little bit. We want to hear from you.
I'm trying.
So now they get to wear those all week. So we're going to see them actually debuted on the field tomorrow. And looking around the Twitter sphere, it actually sounds like Lids is already selling the shit, even though they're not supposed to be until tomorrow morning.
Really? I just went and looked. I couldn't find any.
Well, I don't know. Apparently they're out there. I'm
pictures of in store.
Yeah.
Unless they're the KBO ones.
Oh, I'm pumped to see them at the stadium tomorrow. Like I am pumped. I'm like, that's going to be fun, man. You know?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I nicely asked my wife if I could get another baseball hat, and she said if you get rid of 4, you can get one more. And so I'm going to get rid of 4. I've got some old ones, so a Red Sox one and a bunch of other ones that I won't ever touch again. And so it's time to get a new one.
Yep.
Exactly. This is what it is.
or a bigger closet
team. Yeah. So, but that's good stuff. Like I said, I'm looking forward to it, but I think we got to go back a little bit in time here before we talk about what Liz is going to, hopefully see this weekend with another Blue Jays winning streak going forward. But we actually did pretty damn well this last week with a sweep to the White Sox. The offense kind of was churning a little bit. The offense is moving, but are we going to keep seeing good pitching is some of the other fun here. And reading some funny stats about what we were seeing for Chris Bassett being very tenacious on the mound over the last few weeks and somehow managing to come up with some good, starts. Definitely did not have his best stuff. Liz, over the last week in Blue Jays baseball, what have you had some thoughts on? Is there anything that stood out?
You know what? The games were fun to watch. Straight up, I know that's a basic ass take, but this team, last year's team, has been so dour to watch. It was really fun to watch. As I would say, those guys were baseballing. You want to see them score runners. Like my nephew, who's 7, who watches a ton of baseball, but isn't technically involved, was like, "Hey, Liz. Hey, Lizzie," he's like, "Do you notice that other teams, when they have a man on third, score a base hit and then they get a point?" And he said, "Other teams." And I was like, "Yeah, man, that's
hot take.
Teams. That's the most John Madden take ever."
Yeah.
I think more points on the board to win the game.
Yeah, he who scores the most runs wins. For me, and I was fortunate enough to watch a fair amount of the end of the Detroit series, and then of the White Sox. We get that Jays in 30, and so it's great. It's too bad you guys don't get it down in the U.S. They should be doing it for every team. They would increase baseball watching 100-fold.
It's my favorite show. It's the best. I watch the game, and then I'll watch Jays in 30 right after.
Yeah, so for me, the middle relief pitching that we've harped on and kicked until it's now down and probably not getting back up. I have to say this. Jordan Romano has to stop throwing fastballs right down Main Street. I don't care how bad you are, Jordan. Don't give up the home run. Just stop it.
Every time.
Hit the guy.
Two out.
Throw it at the ump.
He's going to give up 2 runs. It's the most frustrating thing. It's
Boulder, hit the mascot. I don't give a shit. Just don't throw it right down Main Street.
It's a habit.
And then lean over like this with your hair and everything. Oh, did I do that? Did I just give up another home run? Yeah, you did.
What's going on with that? Why do you think this is an ongoing trend? Would the Jays throw Yimmy in as their closer and shift him out?
They did up until that point, and then he gave up 3. Yeah. That was one of the most exciting games I've watched.
Right.
The Jays kept fighting and kept fighting. And I've been in those games. I've watched my kids be in those games where the offense is just like, we don't care. We're going to drag you through the mud. We're going to get you. And then Garcia comes in and throws ducks. And he's not even the thing that's frustrating for me is he's not him and Romano. Yimi Garcia aside, because he's done really well. That's one anomaly. I'm not gonna beat him up for that. But Jordan Romano is struggling. They keep putting him in, and he keeps making mistakes on the same pitches. That's my problem.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're not going to improve on your pitching, then you have to, as an athlete, you have to say, "Coach, I'm not hitting my spots." And I don't know if they're just turning a blind eye to the fact that they want him to get better, and the only way he can get better is with innings. But that also is a double-edged sword, because if he doesn't get better, he's going to keep giving up dingers in the bad parts of games. And even in the 2 of the wins, like last night, last night where he gave up a homer, and then the next guy, Varsho was a foot away from that being a back-to-back home run situation. Yep. And it's like, you should be good enough and trust yourself. And to your point, Liz, I think that he doesn't trust his stuff right now. And until he gets back trusting it, like Jimmy Garcia is like, screw it. If I have to, I'm just going to bomb this thing 98 right down Main Street. And you can try and catch up to it, Jack. And it's the same with, when Cabrera is on, that's the same. He looks the guy dead in the eye and he's like, "Hey, numbnuts, 98 right down the middle. Here comes. See if you can hit it." St. Paul Skeen. That's what Skeen's doing. He's looking. He might as well be going fastball to the batter and then just rips it past him, right? Like,
know your strengths. Well, it's the same. You go with your strengths. So this is the same thing that I will just point to the best closer in Major League Baseball history, Mariano Rivera. Everybody knew he was going to throw a cut fastball. They
just
could not
it doesn't matter.
The cut fastball.
Yeah.
But stick with your best stuff. He's fallen in love with his slider a little bit too much again, I feel like, too, as some of the other part. He was always more fastball and just enough sliders. It seems like it's a very dead middle, and I would love to see somebody prove me with some real stats to go with that. But watching the last few games, it's been 50-50. And that might be leaning too far in the one direction. And maybe that's, to your point, maybe he doesn't trust his fastball as much as he has in the past.
Let's not drag the great band One Direction down into this, conversation about how bad Jordan Romano is, right? Let's just leave them out.
That's off
off the table.
Off table, man.
I do want to flip to that.
But the thing is that here's the thing: we have a team that is almost allergic to scoring a lot of runs, right? That's what they've shown us. Okay, so we need to win these games by 1 run, 2 runs. So we cannot have this is just me stating obvious. It's guys. Yeah, I got it sexy. We've got the Canadian closer in. It's not working. We can't have a guy who's going to give up with 2 out, 2 strikes, a 2 bomber. That's not what's up. Fix your stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
So just to play on that, was the other night when we lost 14-11. That was actually the most runs I think we've scored all year.
That was an awesome game. I was pumped about that game. I had a great time watching that game. That was so fun to watch. It was a hard rally. Yeah, we lost it, but I was like, that was fun.
And I feel came up, and that's what we can do, though.
Yeah, I do feel like they learned.
And so beating about this team.
Yeah, they've learned. They learned from that experience. I will say that there's been a couple of crux points in this season up to this point, and I think watching that one slip away, I think when they got back into the clubhouse after that was all done, I guarantee you there was some strong words for the guys who are giving up those home runs, and that's part of the reason why what's his name went down, Swanson. No, is that who? Yeah. Yeah, he can't hit. He couldn't hit the ocean if he fell out of a boat right
10.
now.
It was 9.95, I think, right now.
I'd just as soon put a position player in there and have him throw, and then at least have an extra bat on the bench.
That's a good point.
It's bad. And so when you get to a point
right now, there's a lot to say about having an extra bat on that lineup when we can't hit.
Yeah, I know. Only if it's Martinez, though. Can he pitch? Can Martinez pitch? Have we tried him yet?
He's got a rifle, man. So. I might trust him over some. So
the other really bright spot,
crazy stat I've seen in a while. I gotta share this because this is the one gentleman that is destroying on our offense. So I'm gonna just put it up on the window here, and you're gonna have to live with my nonsense. That is a very interesting list. That Davis Schnieder.
All of it
is amongst with those names, and there's no shortage of a way of saying it. He has been phenomenal. I had the pleasure of meeting him at last year's Baseball Town with a Walk-Off podcast, which is hosting right now if you happen to somehow be in the area around the Comedy Club on Danforth in Toronto right now. And you can make it in. But to that point, he has been stellar. I loved watching him in Buffalo, being here in Rochester, New York. Davis has been nothing short of phenomenal. And when you see this kind of a thing for an OPS being amongst these names, are the two of you this shocked with what we've been seeing out of Davis Schnieder, that he's amongst these names?
Here's the thing. I mean, I'm not shocked. The thing is, when we had these lads from Buffalo, I thought, I don't know what's going to happen. I thought maybe last year he got really hot and then he dropped off. And I wasn't sure if it was for real or not. But when you mix that unassumingly cute mustache with those wicked guns, I truly believe the sky is the limit for this babe Schnieder.
The thing for me, and I agree with you on a lot of those points, Liz. So, but I'm gonna keep it real on this. When he came up and he was so red hot, I knew there was going to be some sort of precipice with this guy. He didn't look like a baseball player. I mean, they talked very well about the way that he played and how hard he played and all the rest of this stuff. And he absolutely proved me wrong over and over. I thought, here it is. He went 0 for 3, and then he would go 3 for 3. And you're like, okay, dude, you're a machine. We get it. Now he's back. Yeah, he's back this year. He's thick as a sheet of plywood. I mean, he looks like he's been eating the other players to steal their souls and be able to play as well. I mean, he's bulging. He's huge. Anyways, so I don't know if you guys know this or not, but from his debut, from the time his first game as a Blue Jay to right now, he is the 4th best hitter in almost every category in the majors. And he rivals some of the top numbers that the game has seen in their history. Like, this guy is going off at a level that, because he's so unassuming, and so he, he's just out there, he's just doing his thing. He's at second. Oh, he's in left field, wherever, whatever he is a machine. He is a baseball machine. He is Jim Tomei. He is, he's Cal Ripken. I mean, he's that good where he could play the next 10 years of his life, set probably multiple records, I would say, and do it without like maybe selling a couple of 100 jerseys and still being able to go into a Subway in Baltimore and be like, oh, I have a BLT. And they're like, okay, normal guy. And,
when I had like I said, I had the pleasure of meeting him like not terribly long after he got called up last year. And he is the most humble person I have probably met in my life, let alone an actual baseball player. He was just talking with everybody, having a great time.
But he gets
very, like you said, the unassuming part to that point. There's no shortage of confidence or anything in that whole equation.
Did you guys see the special with him?
Baseball knowledge.
Him and Ernie Clement and Nathan Lukes, I think it was, when they were in spring training and living together in the same house.
Oh, it was cute. I'd watch a reality show about it.
So would I. It's awesome, by the way. But the one thing that I noticed about him the entire time, and I mean, not to take away from other guys in the league that when they come up, they're wearing big chains and they're getting in trouble in strip clubs and they're doing all this other stuff. I mean, this guy's talking about playing Settlers of Catan with 2 of his best friends in the whole world. And that's the best thing they could possibly be doing every night. It's a totally different mentality. And what it's going to prove outwards, I don't care if Schnieder only has a couple more seasons, in the limelight. I hope he doesn't end up like a Pilar where we ship him off before I think ideally we should have shipped him off, and then he has 7 more years of good baseball in him. There's been a few Jays that have done that, but irregardless, we have to realize that if I have a person that I want my sons looking up to for work ethic, for a love of the game that is true. And I mean, that guy can talk baseball 24/7. He absolutely loves the game of baseball. Yep. And I would hope, whether my kids play college, whether they don't, I would hope that they keep the same passion for any sport that guy has for the sport he plays as his job.
Yeah.
I have a good comp for both of you as far as I'd say the slugger level that we are getting from Davis Schneider at this point. It dawned on me watching baseball the other night, and it was honestly during one of his home run swings lately that I got the flash of who he reminded me of. He reminds me of Silver Slugger version of Aaron Hill.
Yeah. He does.
And I'm not saying that because he started second base. It's that same frame that kind of reminded me of it. That way he, the wrap up with his swing and the just amount of torque he's pulling the ball with. So I thought that was really good. If he is anything like Aaron Hill was when he was a Blue Jay, especially those years that he was silver slugging, we got a guy here that's going to be a staple on this lineup for a long time, and it'll be very exciting to see what they do with him.
Yeah, I mean, I akin him to, like the one guy who I've always thought, even though he may not have had the body for it and all the rest of it, the one guy who reminds me similarly of the way that he plays, his love for the game and all the rest of it. And this is a big comparison. And I hope somebody hears this, is Tony Gwynn. I akin the fact that Schneider goes up there every single time with the mentality that he's going to hit the ball. Whether it's on the ground, in the air, out of the stadium, foul, whatever. He's going in there, hunting fastballs, looking for curveballs. He's a good hitter all the way around, but he's up there to do a job and he knows it. And, the fact that the other night, his 3 ABs, the night before was a home run and then double. It's just like, come on, like a double is a hard thing to do in Major League Baseball. A double is tough. Like when you get a double, you deserve to do your little dances out at second base. Yeah. Have at her. If you hit a triple, they should bring you a cake, but and some oxygen. Yeah. But it's one of those things where he is he's not robotic, but he is automatic. If
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, he's like a little hustle machine.
Yeah.
And he adjusts as needed. But I guess, guys, my question for you is, I'm not really tuned to what's going on outward. Are other people talking about him? Because he's not the flashy guy. He is all about fundamentals, and he's quiet. He seems like a quiet, professional lunchbox baseball player. Is anybody else talking in the league about David Schnieder?
Not that I've seen.
The only thing I remember seeing was before the season that he was in quote unquote in some trade offers. I know, Jason, you and I talked that out on a couple of shows, but I don't think anybody was seriously kicking the tires or anything. But being here in the States and watching nothing but the Major League Baseball Network, they do not talk about David Schneider.
They don't talk about the Jays, man.
No, I did. There was a thing. There was a thing that they did on is it Baseball This Week or whatever it's called now. I think it's on Apple TV. It's Harold Reynolds and those guys. And I remember not too long ago them talking about like some of the farthest down the ring picks that have made it, and they were comparatively saying that he was possibly the lowest round pick to be as good as he is, even though they didn't really see it. Like, I mean, he's a good college player. He was a good minor league player. He wasn't great. And even I can remember being on this show when he got called up and we were talking about it. And Craig, you even said, you were like, his numbers are good. I mean, he's not. And then I feel like that night, I think he got 2 or 3 hits, and we were like, "What the?" And then he did it again, and then he did it again.
He had 2 home runs.
That's right, 2 home runs.
And then he had the highlight
the
of
following night with a home run. He had 4 home runs in 3 games against the Red Sox to start your major league career in Fenway Park. There's a reason you lived up to the name Babe in that equation, but it's not just those pieces. I saw he had power in Buffalo when I have the pleasure of seeing him play the Rochester Red Wings here where I live. But like I said, I think you nailed it, Jason. I didn't see the superstar that in the making that we might be seeing right now. And
he was drafted in the 28th
round. Of numbers.
What was Pilar drafted?
Which is a round that doesn't exist anymore.
What was Pilar drafted in? Pilar was drafted way low, eh?
Wait, also. No, I think Kevin Pilar was
not as far.
Yeah,
I'll get that one.
But I will say this, like, I mean, it's very interesting. You would say that round doesn't exist anymore. Like the round he was drafted in, they don't draft down to that number anymore. Wow. They've cut it off. So when you're talking about, and we can go through them. There's every sport has long shots, and every sport has the guy. But I just never get the feeling from him like he's that guy. Like, I feel like he was probably that guy. Like, on his high school team, he was probably like the second best hitter, and he was fast, and he was pretty good in the outfield, and he played a little bit of short, and he's just like a utility guy that you counted on for everything. And then when he went to college, it was probably more of the same: athletic, hit the ball around the field, good guy, everybody likes him. And then he slips into Buffalo, and a couple we're like, who is this dude? And he grows that corn dog mustache, and just it from that point on, it's the stuff of a Hallmark movie. It's outrageous, and I love it. Yep.
So just to clarify, KP was 32nd round.
Oh, Lord.
And to throw that other out here, just as your baseball history enthusiast that I am, Mike Piazza was drafted in round 30. It was taken as a favor to Tommy Lasorda. So this is the thing that irks me with having all the friends that I've had that worked in really low end parts of my minor league baseball. We've had him on the show a few times. The gentleman that is the voice of the Bluefield Blue Jays is no longer employed for the Bluefield Blue Jays because Ron Manfred killed those ends of the minor leagues below, to consolidate all the minor league baseball teams to 4 per major league team, right? So the Appalachian League that he announced for, no longer a thing. And unfortunately, those are the kind of things that are the David Schneiders, the Kevin Pillar stories. You're missing out on that because you now went from all the people that play major league or try to play professional baseball. You went from having like a 2% chance of being somebody that made Major League Baseball. You now chop that down to probably about 1% of the people that ever pick up a baseball in their life to try going professional actually make the minor leagues even, let alone the majors. So 25 people on every roster, and we only have 4 rosters on the minor leagues. That's 100 kids.
Wow. I'm going to give you one. I'm going to give you who my pick is the next Davis Schnieder coming up through the system, and that's Deshaun Brown. Keep an eye on Deshaun Brown. I watched him play here. That guy is better than the game he's playing right now. And when he gets up into Buffalo, he's going to slash. He reminds me of Ellie De La Cruz, slashes balls into the gaps. He's only got 5 or 6 home runs this year, but lots of base hits, lots of multiple base hits, and he is fast. And he's from Oakville. So, I mean, he's got a lot of stuff going for him. I used to live in Oakville. I thoroughly enjoyed my time in Oakville. But Deshaun Brown's going to be a beauty. I've watched him a few times. He's pretty good.
I think this next segment is the Craig eats his own words section. Because I have to give credit where credit is due here on another player that I completely screwed up this year, like I did with KK last year. IKF. Yeah, he has been on fire. And I haven't been saying move him to the minors or anything when we were having these talks over the past, I'll say the first month of the season. But there was days I was like, okay, why see the lineup for Schnieder? There's some of these days where he's been all over the diamond just as much as anybody else. But right now, I'm kind of in that ballpark of why isn't he just playing third base every damn day? And what is going on with the fact that you got to keep his bat in the lineup because he is one of the very few guys that have been consistently hitting and driving in runs and scoring runs while playing, I won't say, Gold Glove level defense at whatever position he happens to be playing in, but he's playing above average defense at whatever he ends up playing at. And God, I just can't say anything bad. He's been on fire, and I think he's got a 6 or 7 game hitting streak at the moment after yesterday too. So you hear all the news and who could come up and go down and move people around. Put him at third base. Let him stay there. He earned it, just like we're talking about with Schnieder with left, in my opinion.
Yeah, I also have to eat my words on IKF. I did a lot of shit talking of IKF. I take it back. I do take it back. Yeah. I would say he's almost robotic. Like that guy, he just is like when he's tuned in, it seems like he can just, I don't know, he gets those little loopers. He just gets on base.
Yeah.
And
he's unreal.
And like the thing for me is that like you don't have to be the glamour guy. All I care, just get on base. I don't know, man. I wouldn't mind seeing him lead off. Maybe that's a hot take that no one else agrees with. But, I
think we have the perfect leadoff hitter with Davis Schnieder at the moment is the unfortunate reality. Otherwise, I wouldn't argue with that 2 seconds of that one, Liz, because the outside of the fact that Schnieder can crush and hit baseballs, he's on base all the time. I can't already watching him. Was he 3 for 4 the other day, and he had a walk too? But IKF has been right there with that, and he's actually got 3-4 home runs too, which is sneaky pop for a guy that's not supposed to hit home runs.
So we got 2 pickets to Pittsburgh this week.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, how long do we have IKF for? Like, how is he?
2 years, I think, don't we?
Oh, that's good.
I might be wrong, but I think that's what they signed. It was small.
As it was wise.
Yeah, no, they did take IKF for 2 years.
Yeah. And then we have Kevin for this is our last year with Kiermaier.
I think the same.
I wanted to say they only got him a 1 year again.
I think they got him in a 1 year. I think this might be his last year, maybe.
Not after bunting and stealing. Great. If he can keep bunting and stealing like that, they may keep him around until he's 45.
Dude, he's such a babe. Apparently, he's very nice. All day.
Roberto Clemente.
Anyway.
Well, it happens sometimes.
Eyes, right?
Yeah.
But it's nice to see the lineup doing what they've been doing. And I know everybody always gets on Vlad for that. Where's the home runs and where's the pop and whatnot. But the fact that he's been looking, you mentioned the name that he's actually reminding me of a few minutes ago, Jason. He's been looking very Tony Gwynnish, been slapping the ball around. And if he keeps making hard contact like that, the home runs are going to come.
Yep.
So
would Vladdy
I'm not
be good?
horrifically worried about it.
Would Vladdy be good enough for you if he was a consistent, like if he was playing like he was now, but the home runs never came? Would that be good enough for you?
Yes, but he would have to.
I can't complain.
I think for me, it would be okay, but his defense still has to come up a bunch. Like he's great for a trick play. He's great for catching a ball over his shoulders. But I mean, the amount of balls he pooches just as a regular first baseman is just not good enough. And
for me, it's the fundamentals of base running. Sometimes that's just kind of a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Hair's on fire. Is this how it works? Can't keep his helmet on, just like Hanley Ramirez.
Yeah. So. I don't know. I mean, Vladdy comes and goes with me. I think it behooves the Jays to sort of keep him for a little while still. But I mean, if he gets hot in the middle, like if he keeps riding this and he keeps going, I hate to say it, becomes a very tradable asset. He becomes. Then
we all know as soon as we trade Vladdy, he's going to be the best baseball player in the whole world.
But you can't wait for it to happen. If he's not going to do it in Toronto, which I feel like he's become too complacent, he's too comfortable. He knows they're not going to sit him. He knows that the city loves him no matter what. You could go 0 for 20. They're like, oh, Vladdy. Like, it's the way that it is. So, but if he was to go to New York, or if he was to go to Houston, or if he was to go to somewhere where they rip guys apart for not playing well, I mean, it may change his attitude. And it may, like, look at Manny Machado. Manny Machado was great, then garbage, then really good. And so it just took somebody, in San Diego saying, hey, dumbass, get it together, or they're going to send you down. We've got a ton of great guys here, and we signed you because you were good. Let's see it. So I feel like IKF's getting a bit of that right now, where they were like, you know what?
I think that's exactly it.
We signed you to do a job here, and you're not doing it. And he was like, no, I better. Or, there's.
I remember seeing Teo when he was sent down.
Varsho with 10 home runs and leading the team at 30 RBIs. That's the other fun part.
Oh, I talked so much shit about Varsho last year. Oh my God.
You'd love it here. You'd love it here. This is basic. This show could be called
shit with a 205 batting average.
This show could have been called Varsho Shit Talk. That the whole last year it could have been. I
literally was just at the stadium because he started really cool. He did his cool little bunt tricks. He had some cool little stuff, and then I'm like, what is this? What is this mess? What did we trade for this? All year, my heart was broken.
Yeah,
now we're good. Now we're good
watching
again.
Morris being MVP wasn't helping.
But he sucks this year. So I mean, he's bad this year.
The trade's looking better this year. That's all I'm going to say. Even Gabby hasn't been looking that great either.
All my regrets, and they were on a hot tear. Like, man, the Diamondbacks were not going to be a championship contending team year after year. Like, nah.
I didn't think they were going to do what they did this year, though.
Whatever. Like, I think it makes me. Varsho has made me feel better and wronged past like righted past wrongs, especially with like the vibes and like I felt the handsomeness of our outfield took a hit when we got rid of Teo. That's like I was such a and Lewis.
I hope you're not going to say that Varsho improved it.
I can't. I'm not. I can't.
Oh, good. Ooh.
I can't. I love the man's got a.
Especially what Teo's doing this year.
I'm going to go rogue. The man's eyes are too close together. That's what's up.
Yep. Him and Evan Bouchard from the Oilers.
Oh, yeah?
I'd love to see them have a staring contest.
Very close.
Like cross-eyed.
Very close.
So,
all right.
It is that time of the show. We're near the hour, and I know, Jason, you got kids stuff with a kids baseball.
I actually don't
tonight. To do picks to click.
My kids are umpiring.
So let's keep ranting.
No, my kids are umpiring tonight, so I'm actually excited. I have a soft cooler that I like to fill with beer and sit in it. I don't get to sit and watch a lot of baseball because I coach so much.
Great. Yeah.
So I'm going to go to Viewland Park. Look it up. It's one of the most beautiful little baseball parks we've got. And I am going to sit in the outfield with a couple of buddies and watch my kids umpire in a game. I don't care who wins or loses.
I love that dearly, man. Just slamming beers, watching.
I think you need to be like those gentlemen that used to show up at the Blue Jays games and dress up in full umpire gear, sitting right behind home plate, calling the balls and strikes.
And then, they can't afford to do that anymore. Yet.
Ding dong, the Prince is dead. Freaking Angel Hernandez. Angel Hernandez. Yeah, do you think he saw that coming? Would be the question.
No, and he didn't see the door when they asked him to leave. He walked right into the door and then called it out.
There it is. So we're gonna have to have a little victory dance on that one at some point because that one was making me very happy the other day. So as far as our picks to click, the last week in Blue Jays baseball, our guest spot had Double K. You had George Springer and I had Alejandro Kirk. So apparently we're just gonna really find a way to stink it. But to your point, Jason, George Springer's line last week had 6 hits, a double, a home run and 2 RBIs. KK didn't barely exist with his whole 1 hit during the whole week. And that was that bunt I think you were alluding to. And Alejandro Kirk only got in 3 games and got 4 hits. So I think you win by default there, my friend, with George Springer as your pick for the last week.
Default
that is
Springer,
your third
baby.
win of the season. You are now tied with the guest spot. So So, Liz, you are the guest. You get the pick for the guest spot on our Picks to Click for the whole season that we just use for bragging rights and horrible fun on this show.
Yep.
You get to pick whoever you think is going to have the best week in Blue Jays baseball before our show next Thursday.
Yeah, I know I'm picking. This is my pick to click. I don't think he's injured at the moment. Not today. I'm going with Danny Jansen.
Danny Jansen.
Friend of the show.
Always a great pick when he is healthy.
That's what's up.
It's been a while since we've had him on the show.
Best Jay, man. He's clutch. He's handsome. I don't know, Dano. Like Jano's the best.
There you go.
Yeah. No, he was on the show a bunch when he was in Buffalo, but then he obviously got promoted. I'm apparently not big enough to talk to Blue Jays fans or Blue Jays players originally. It's that whole like I don't have a tie or suit or anything.
We'll get him back.
So, Jason, your pick, my friend.
All right. Well, I don't have the aid of my children now to get me out of these jams. So here's what I'm going to do.
Well, they helped you pretty good last week.
Yeah, they did. I'm gonna on the theme of Dalton Varsho sucks. I'm gonna take Dalton Varsho.
There you go.
There it is. And I'm going to go with the gentleman that I literally just apologized for hating on. I'm going to go with IKF because I have not picked him yet, and I'm the only one that has not picked him yet this year. Yeah. So I'm going to put him on my square for this week.
He crushed it for me.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. That was the only week that Vladdy went off that week and got Ken his only week or only win before he took his hiatus. But that's how it is. So as far as the Picks to Click go, we have 3 games against the Pirates, and then we unfortunately have to take on the Orioles.
Boo,
how are you two
Orioles.
feeling?
Boo birds.
No.
Just trash words. Just trash words.
Yeah. So I thought it was kind of ironic that in the midst of this whole thing that I was looking at the pitching matchups, and I thought we were going to run into Skeens.
No, we're not.
No. So
which is probably a good thing.
On that.
He's throwing dots now.
Yeah. So we got Barrios tomorrow night. We got Kikuchi on Saturday, and then we have obviously Bassett following that up as we are back to 5. Do you think that we take the series on some of this momentum, or are you still worried that our pitching is not going to carry our offense a little bit like we did this past week, or is it back to the normal?
Liz,
but I don't know. Our pitching's iffy. What's going on? Manoah's out. Who's taking that? That's it. So we're on 5.
They're going to have to bring somebody up, or is Bowden Francis back? I know he was throwing.
Yeah, I don't know, but
there's a chance he might be, but he's not going to be stretched out. I don't think.
No.
I feel like we're back into it. I feel like we're back into the shit. I want us to carry the momentum, but guys, let's not forget it was the White Sox. It was a beautiful time, but like now, I think we're facing the Orioles. I don't know. Like I think if we were to win some series, that'd be sick. But I don't know. I don't see in the next eight games us being true champions.
I think the Jays are going to win the
Thankfully,
series
the Pirates
against
have
Pittsburgh.
the same record we do.
Yeah, I think they're going to win the series.
I find the Jays. I'm always like easy. It's an easy schedule, and then the Jays just tank.
Yeah.
Even when we were like in the 2015 team, I remember losing against Tampa all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because we did. That was 100% a true fact. I was at a few of those games.
I'm taking Jays are taking 2 or 3 in my book.
Sweet, I want that. I like that.
Yeah. I think that's a true fact as well. My worry is that, like you said, that the Orioles, but who just beat the living hell out of the Orioles that nobody saw coming? Was it the Reds?
No, I thought it was. Well, didn't Minnesota lay a whoop on them too?
No, correct. They've been a little beat up a little bit lately, and maybe there's something going there too. But to that point, the Orioles are a very talented team, but they are still a very young team. They're going to have ups and downs. The reason you show up to the ballpark every day and hope for the best. So, but hopefully they'll get some. It'd be really nice if they were able to manage a split against the Orioles and keep some of this momentum going. So, especially at home for City Connect week.
Next week,
Gotta have some fun. as long as they don't, bring too many of the vibes from these black jerseys, I think we'll be okay.
The sparkle jerseys haunt me every time. If somebody comes to the park wearing a sparkle jersey, I judge you. I am judging you. If you even the bird with the T on it, I still judge you. Sparkle jerseys are not welcome. Well, not welcome.
No. The T logo.
That one. It's like Poochie. It's like Poochie from The Simpsons. It's like that's not what's up.
It kills me that we should have won the MVP award and the Cy Young that year with those horrible jerseys. So my legacy of watching video highlights of Delgado and Roy Halladay
in those
by that horrible jersey.
And they weren't the Blue Jays. They were the Jays.
The Jays. So good stuff. So Liz, I'm going to give you another chance to do your shameless self-promoting for your baseball cards. And then we're going to do 2 claps to Ric Flair and a Let's Go Blue Jays and head on home.
All right. Thanks so much for having me again. The world's worst baseball card model right here. My cards are for sale on eBay. The username is Liz McGuire, McGuire. Go Jays, or just look at Topps official Liz McGuire cards. There's some knockoffs on there. Those are cool too, but they're not the official cards. So it's going to support Holland Bloorview, Kids Rehabilitation Hospitals, Concussion Center. That's what's up.
Right. Awesome. And it was a pleasure having you on this evening, Liz. We'll have to do this again. This was a fun one.
Anytime
thank
you want.
You're welcome back anytime. You're part of the group now.
Thanks, buds. Again, I'll send you guys some of the fakies if you want it for your kids. Happy to do so.
Beautiful.
Perfect. We'll make sure that we maybe we'll auction some of those off on baseball card night too, as far as our prize wheel goes. That's what this little guy is behind me. So there you go. Got to have something for the grand prize every couple of weeks. So on that note, Blue Jays fans, thank you very much. I saw a bajillion of you, it seemed like, this evening. I'm glad we all saw you come in. But do not forget to talk to us. If you're listening on YouTube, Twitter, any of these fun places, make sure you hit those comment windows. We're here to chat. We are the Toronto Blue Jays barroom chat for all of you. So make sure you join us and have some fun. We are here to goof around, whatever comes on. Obviously, we have awesome guests like Liz on the show. Maybe you'll be our next fan on the show and get to have some fun with Jason and I talking Blue Jays baseball. Until next week, Thursday, make sure you listen in wherever you can get your podcast pleasures from. We are the official podcast of jaysjournal.com, part of the Fansided network, and we will all see you again next week. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Woo! Let's go, Blue Jays.
Thank you for listening to the Jaybird Watching Podcast. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, at BirdwatchingGC, and our YouTube channel. If you want to support the show and get extra content, please consider donating to our Patreon at patreon.com/birdwatchinggc. Go Jays, go.